Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to go over some useful array methods in JavaScript. These methods are very useful in day-to-day coding in JavaScript. So let's go over this. Here we have an array of animals and I have console logged this in line number 8. Let's say we want to firstly add some elements in this array. So the first method is push. So let's say animals dot push, we want to add this animal, and we can see that at the end of the array this new element has been added. And what if we want to add the start of the array? We use the method that is unshift. So what it did is it added this new element mouse at the start of an array, and this method will also return the new length of the array. So let's say we have the new length equal this, and let's console log the new length. So we see that this method returned the new length, that is 5 of this array. So the next, what if we want to add an element in middle or anywhere we want? So to customize the position of adding an element, we use the method that is splice. So we write animals dot splice, and in here the first argument we give that from which position, that is index, we want to start adding. That's so we want to add after the position of cats. So we say position 2, then we don't want to delete anything, 0, and let's say we want to add, and the third is what element we want to add. So in here we say we want to add horse. So after console logging this, we see that 2 0 1 2 in the second index, that is the third position, this new element have been added. Now let's look at finding an element. So firstly there is the includes method. So includes method, what it does, it checks whether an element is inside the array or not. So let's say let r equal animals dot includes, and we have to give the search element here. So let's say we have to search cats, and it will return a boolean. So we console log dot r, and we see that yes, it's true, that element is there. And also we can customize to that from where we want to search from. So if we want to search from index number 1, we still get the true value. What if we say index number 3? So from index number 3 to the end there is no cats element, so it returned false. And the next method is index of. So index of will return the first occurrence of a specified element. So let's say animals dot index of and let's console log this. So we have here in line number 18 we have here 1 because 0 1 it found this cats in the first position. So what if we had another cats element here? So let's go ahead and add another let's go ahead and search for mouse. So we see that it returned only 1, that is 0, and it did not return as well as 6 because it will return the first occurrence of that element, and and the last index of will the last index of will return the last index of an occurrence of an array. So here we can see that the last index of this mouse element returned 5 because last index of method starts searching from the last. So it start looking from the end of the array and it found in the 5th position and it print that. And what if we gave it a second parameter, that is the from index, from where it will start looking for? Let's say we want to look for the index number 3. So now what it does is it starts looking from index number 3 and it found mouse at the 0th index, so it returns 0. Now let's look how we can traverse this array. So there are multiple ways of traversing array. So firstly let's take a look at the for in loop. So we say for let index in now the array name. So array name is our animals, and that's a console.log index. So what we have here, so here we see that we have only the index numbers of this array, 5 indexes. Now let's try to print this. So to print this we have to access these array elements. So to do that, let's say animals and index. So here we see that we have printed the index number as well as the elements corresponding to that index. Now let's look at the for off loop. Let's say for let I of animals, and we are now console.log I. So when we use the for off loop and let I, we directly can print the array elements. There is no need to access the index with this. So that is the difference between in and off. In you get the index number as well as the array elements, but in off we directly get the array elements. And lastly there is for each. So for each is another array method and it is used for traversing the array. So let's say animals dot for each method, and for each method we'll take a callback function as a parameter. So we write the callback function as an arrow function, and we let's say, and we have to pass in an reference to this animal array. So a here is represents the elements. Let's write it elements of this array. And if we console.log the elements, we see that from line 34 we have printed all the array elements. Now let's see how we can find specific element from the array using reference type. So here we have an users array, and here is a list of objects that have name and age of users. So let's say we want to find a specific age, that is or name from this array. So can we use this includes method here? So let's say we use the includes method. Let's say console.log, and let's say users dot includes, and here let's we want to search element this one. So let's see if we can find this element here. So from here we see that no, this element returned false. It is actually there, but it returned false. This is because we are actually storing a reference to this object here, not the actual object, a memory location. And as well as when we do this includes method with this object, a new object, this is another reference and another memory location. This is why it does not found this object in here. So to solve this, we have to use the find method. So let's go ahead and use the find method. Find, and find, what it does, it takes a callback function. It takes a callback function and returns the element. So in this callback function, let's go ahead and find the element, and let's return the element, and we want this element to be the element dot age equal let's say 33. So if you console log this, we see that yes, it returned age 33, and the name is this Johnny is 33. And we can also let's say the age is greater than let's say 33. So greater than 33, it returned this one. And if we do greater than 30, so greater than 30, there's multiple elements, 39, 33, and this find method will always return the first one which satisfies the condition. We can also give here a name equal let's say and it returned this item. And as well as like this, we can use the find index method. So for find index, we just have to use the find index method, and we see that this is 0, 1, 2. The second index contains this element. So now let's go ahead and remove some elements from the array. So we have our animals array. So firstly, let's go ahead and print that array. Convenient way to view the array elements is use the console log table method, and we pass in the animals. So we see that the array is displayed here. So first is the pop method. The pop method removes the last element from the array. So console.log animals.pop. What it does, no, actually pop method will remove the last element from the array and it will return the removed element. So we see here mouse is printed here because we removed it. Now let's go ahead and print this to check. Yes, we see that this has been removed. Now what if we want to remove from the first position? We use the shift method. So I'll say console.log animals.shift, and what it does, it also printed mouse, that is the first, it removed the first element and it returned that. So let's go ahead and check this. Yes, it did remove the first element. So what if we want to delete a specific element? Let's say we want to delete the second index. So we can do that by using the delete and call the array by reference and 0, 1, 2. So we have deleted the element from the second index. So let's go ahead and print this. We can see that the second element has been deleted here, and actually the second element has been deleted, but the position of the consequent elements have not been moved to their previous places, and we can see that here is an empty array, empty element here. So how can we overcome this? So to do that, we can use the splice method. So let's go ahead and comment this. So in splice method, we say animals.splice, and from where we want to delete the second index, and how many from the second, and how many elements we want to delete. 1. We want to delete 1, and after doing that, we should see that the second position is removed. Yes, now we see that the second index dogs have been removed, as well as the consequent element, that is pets, and as index have updated to its previous index.